Hey, what up everybody? This is Steve Breach coming to you here on STS Radio. Today we're going to be talking all about the upcoming Survivor Series pay-per-view, which is going to be on the WWE Network. Of course, everybody knows with the last numbers release, which was the day before Halloween, WWE honestly isn't having the greatest success on the WWE Network. I think that honestly, as far as a fan, I'm getting 100% of the value for what is going on. But I think there's not a lot of fans out there like me. If you go back to the last edition of STS Radio, we talked all about the WWE Network, the ups, the downs, things that I liked, things that I didn't like, things that should change, things that they need to add. We did a good hour-long discussion talking all about that. But basically, the one thing we didn't really talk about was the fact that, do fans really want to watch wrestling any time of the day they want to? I know that WWE really does a great number on WWE sales, whether if it's the documentary releases like the last release, Macho Man release that just came out on Tuesday this week, or 3-disc sets, sort of like as the WCW Oh My God set which just came out, or best of ladder matches, best of TLC, things like that have come out in the past. People can go to the store, whether if it's Kmart, Walmart, Target, they can pick up the WWE DVDs, they can bring them home, and they can sort of sit them on the shelves and put them in there for viewing as they need to along the way. But do they really need their own channel to turn on and basically watch, whatever they want to? I think that honestly, when I sit down, it's a lot like my DVD collection at home, whether if I'm talking about my wrestling DVDs from WWE, WCW, TNA, now I'm starting to pick up a few PWG ones. Make sure you head on over and check out the PWG Winter Sale. Pick your own 5 DVDs from their collection for only $40. I highly recommend you pick up the Best of El Generico as one of the 5. I think that one's going to be very, very good. I've watched those matches, and I really, really enjoyed them. I think that you guys will too. Of course, El Generico is Sami Zayn, if you've been living under a rock for the past 2 or 3 years and didn't know El Generico went to WWE. But, I highly recommend you pick that up. And then 11 was a really good show, and from there on out, I'm lying to you if I've told you I've seen any other one. 7 was good. I watched that one when I had some buddies over at the house, and I really like seeing that was, of course, Daniel Bryan coming back to PWG for the first time after being fired from WWE after the incident with the Justin Roberts and the tie. It was before SummerSlam 2010. So go check that out if you get a chance. But honestly, when it comes down to the WWE Network, what have they really done for us in this last month to really show us, there's a value in watching this? They haven't really done anything that's been, top-notch to make you really have to go to the network like you really want to see this. After Monday, it was cool that they ran a 15-minute preview of the Macho Man DVD. That sort of helps them out, and that's one thing that I think they would use the WWE Network for, is to, get fans to go over and buy the Macho Man DVD the next day, raise awareness that they have products out there on the shelves that you can run out there and pick up. The WWE Rivalries is a good series that just started. They've shown some episodes of the Monday Night War series. I don't really think those are really good shows to really bring people in to watch, but as a wrestling, I guess you can say historian, somebody who wants to get as much knowledge as I can about things that are out there, they're good for me. Basically, I don't really know to fringe fans if they really want to go and watch, Survivor Series 1996. That was the pay-per-view that they hyped up the other day, that you can go to it and watch. And they were, using that as like, hey, you can watch this show. I mean, honestly, it has the debut of The Rock, and it has, I think, a few other matches. I can't really think off the top of my head what happened on that show. But, is that something that you really want to watch instead of watching, whatever's on CBS on Monday nights? Whether if it's, I know How I Met Your Mother is gone, but there's The Big Bang Theory and Two Broke Girls and this, that, or the other. I don't know about you. I'd rather watch comedy, and I love wrestling, so I don't really know if there is this sort of round-the-clock thing. Build up your on-demand section. I think that's the one thing that you could be selling, is you could be watching anything at any time. If you follow the WWE Network, they have great suggestions that they tweet out about things that are going down. I really love it early in the morning. They will normally tweet out, on this day in wrestling history. You could also follow the history of WWE. They tweet out things that are just like this, and that sort of sparks your interest to go back and watch something that happened on this day in the past. Whether, especially if it's in the last 2-3 years, because you really freshly remember it, and you're like, damn, I really want to watch that. Or maybe they might bring up a good pay-per-view somewhere along the way. But honestly, to me, I think if they're giving us the Survivor Series pay-per-view, and this is supposed to be the, like, I love this. This is awesome. They're hyping up, if you've never seen a WWF pay-per-view, if you've never seen a WWE pay-per-view, this is the pay-per-view to get. The main event is the biggest match of all time. Team Cena versus Team Authority in a traditional Survivor Series elimination team match. Stipulation, if Team Authority loses, Triple H and Stephanie will no longer be the Authority, and added on Friday is going to be, if Team Cena loses, all members of Team Cena will be fired and no longer work for the WWE anymore. They're hyping it up that this is the biggest match of all time. You're telling me that this match right here is bigger than Daniel Bryan versus Triple H, or Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton and Batista in that three-way for the main event. This is bigger than Hogan versus Andre. This is bigger than Rock versus Hogan. This is bigger than Austin versus Rock. You gotta be kidding me. How is Survivor Series going to be bigger than WrestleMania? WrestleMania is a show that, if you look at the card, most of the time there's 5 matches that you really care about, that they really put a lot of time in. Most of the feuds have been running since January, and you just want to see something blow off and explode. Every once in a while, WrestleMania is used as sort of like the start of the feud, like John Cena versus Bray Wyatt. But for the most part, WrestleMania is supposed to be that exclamation point. It's the celebration of wrestling. And here we are with Survivor Series, the show that's supposed to be getting everybody saying, like, wow, the network's worth some money. We got an elimination Survivor Series, traditional match. I don't want to get down on this for so long, because, the Survivor Series is what the Survivor Series is. And as a purist, this is supposed to be what the main event is. But then, look, they did their best. If you think about the guys that are in WWE, more than likely the biggest names are in this match. But then it sort of shows you how weak WWE is right now. You got 2 Divas matches. One's a Divas Championship match with Nikki going up against AJ. You've got a traditional Survivor Series elimination match with the Divas, led up by Natalya versus Paige as sort of the captains. From there, you go to one match that people might care about. Dean Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt. And then we have the, I can't remember, 4 corners. I can't remember if it's an elimination match. It better be an elimination match, because how are these 5 matches going to fill a card? They've added that they're not going to tell us what's going down with the pre-show, but Fandango is going to be wrestling a match against an unknown opponent. Wade Barrett is supposed to be making his return. To me, when you look at it, they don't have a picture of Wade Barrett as a wrestler. They have him sort of in a suit and tie. I think that he's going to be making his return in some sort of a role, in doing some sort of a promo. I don't know if he's going to be running the gavel gimmick, where he has the little podium that goes up and down. But just to me, when I read the release, what they said about Wade Barrett coming back, it doesn't really sound like he's going to be in a wrestling fashion. I don't want to be down on this show too much. I love the WWE Network. The $10 they take out of my account every month is well spent. I'm loving the fact that I'm going to be able to come home from work on Sunday and watch a 3-hour wrestling show that is going to be better than Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. It's going to be, the bar is going to be raised a little bit. It is a pay-per-view, if you say. That's what they still are. And I'm loving the fact that I don't have to watch this on a little tiny internet stream, or I don't have to watch this off a downloaded torrent. I don't have to try and feel guilty about watching Scramble Vision and not paying for it if we're back in the day. But honestly, it's going to be a show. It's not going to be a great show. It might be a good show. There's a good chance it might be a bad show. But we're going to talk all about it. We're going to talk about the ups. We're going to talk about the downs. And so somehow, get through this. So buckle up. sit down. This is the first part of many. We're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back. But that's your build-up for STS Radio. We're talking all about Survivor Series, and we'll get deep down into it.